Hey guys, welcome to BitBoy Crypto. I am your host, BitBoy. How about them markets? Doing real good today. All right, guys. If you're not a subscriber to our channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You're going to want to do it. We do fun videos. We do entertaining videos. We do educating videos. We do reviews. We do everything you want. So go ahead and hit the subscribe button. We call our community the Bit Squad. We're also giving away $500 worth of Ethereum and merch in October and November. So make sure to like and comment on this video, be a subscriber, and you have a chance to win. Okay, guys. So looking at the markets, it's not good. That Bitcoin chart is making me laugh. However, we do have some pretty big news today. It looks like, and I did predict that this would happen by the end of the year, did not think that it would happen this fast. Ethereum and XRP have officially flipped, and I think that we will not see Ethereum ahead of XRP again. I think XRP has permanently moved ahead of Ethereum. There is now a big gap. It is $5 billion difference. Now, it could, to be fair, it could change on the drop of a dime. XRP could plummet. Ethereum could shoot through the roof. But I don't see that happening. I think that XRP now is going to be ahead of Ethereum. Which, brings up something interesting because just recently I did a video where I talked about just how far Bitcoin Cash was between Ethereum and Stellar and what it would take for Stellar to overtake Bitcoin Cash. I said it'd be a real long time. Well, it's only $1.5 billion away, so that's not very much. If you look at the chart here, Bitcoin Cash has been absolutely plummeting. This is not just due to this drop today. Ever since they've been having the hash wars, things have been going for a while in that direction. And I think we will see it continue to drop. And Stellar probably has a good chance of catching up and getting past Bitcoin Cash, maybe even before the end of the year, depending on how things shake out with the hash wars, if you will. I know people have been asking me, kind of what I'm interested in right now in buying with all these drops. Tron, I'm still making my Tron video. It's coming out this week. I think I'm going to do a Tron video on Thanksgiving, and I'm going to call the video Tronsgiving. I think that would be pretty good. So you guys be on the lookout for that. I'm going to explain why I've kind of turned on Tron, which today with all the bloodbath, I mean, that probably isn't what, people want to hear. But I'm going to be explaining to you guys why Tron is one that I'm targeting right now, along with Monero and Stellar. Those are the three big ones that I'm really looking to get into that I'm not currently in with some good positions. Also, Bizont, after I did that review, I got to say, I'm pretty impressed with Bizont. That's definitely one I'm going to be at least putting a little bit in. Those are the four that I've really got targeted, during these dips to go ahead and make it happen. So, okay, guys, as you can see, XRP has been holding much better. That is why, really, it has passed Ethereum, and I don't believe it's going to go back. Now, if we look at the overall market cap, we're at $166 billion. Bitcoin dominance at 52.5. Now, why is that $166 billion number significant? Well, it's significant only because I'm going to draw a parallel to the next story. So this story here is about a whistleblower that implicated Deutsche Bank in a $150 billion money laundering scandal. So we always hear this, right? We hear crypto's a scam, ICOs are a scam, blah, 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 right? We get it. However, we need to remember that we're all on the same side in cryptocurrency, even though we may fight amongst ourselves based on what coins we like. However, if you compare the level of scam in cryptocurrency compared to the crimes and the scams that are going on in the financial world, you will find that crypto, the entire market cap at $166 billion, is just a drop in the bucket. As you can see, this is a $150 billion laundering scandal just involving one bank. Now, Deutsche Bank, to be fair, is, I believe, the biggest bank in Europe, but it certainly is a huge bank overall. But we have things like this happening all the time in the United States with banks and financial crimes and Ponzi schemes and all this stuff. We just got to remember, you can't, it's kind of like the argument of, oh, Bitcoin's only used by criminals. More criminals use cash, I promise. But that doesn't make Bitcoin a scam because some criminals use it. And that also doesn't make cryptocurrency a scam because there are some scams within cryptocurrency. So I just thought this was very interesting and a good comparison to kind of show where we're at in crypto compared to one bank. Like, look at Amazon and Apple. Apple already has for sure reached $1 trillion. I believe Amazon is very close, if not already $1 trillion company. And we're at 166 billion in cryptocurrency. So we still got a long ways to go, and those are just two companies. Together, they're way bigger than cryptocurrency market right now. So just got to keep that in mind. So I want to kind of show you guys some stories that I found on Reddit that I just thought were interesting tie-ins. I'm not going to sit here and try to take positions on, like, I think the market's going to go back up or it's going to go down to 1,000. I'm not really taking those positions right now. What I'm doing personally is taking the long view, and I am trying to accumulate right now, and try to build my portfolio to be where I want it to be. And I'm targeting years down the road with where I want my investments to be. So we did have this on Reddit where someone was talking about, basically we had this huge dump right before ETFs. If you didn't know, there was an actual ETF approved. I believe it was in Switzerland over the weekend. It's a cryptocurrency ETF. I don't think that affected the markets very much, and that's not what everyone's been waiting for. We do, however, next month have BACT coming out on December 12th, and, some people are thinking it's a little weird that right before these institutional tools come out that we have this huge dip. And I read through this thread, and it was very interesting because people were making the point of, oh, well, maybe this is not manipulation. People who say that this is whale manipulation, they're just looking for conspiracies to explain why their money has dropped. Really, we're just overbought, and the price maybe is just correcting. Well, here's the thing, guys. The Bitcoin doesn't correct 20% almost in 1 week's time as a correction to something that happened a year ago. That doesn't happen. A correction happens over time. We can see it happen quickly on on a day-to-day chart, for instance. Like if Stellar pumps 24% and then the next day it drops 10 or 15%, like, yeah, that makes sense. But you don't have a correction based on something that happened a year ago. That's my opinion anyways. How I think what we're seeing is we are seeing whales push the price down. And when we say whales, that makes it sound so mythical or, like it's some kind of conspiracy tinfoil hat theory. That's just the way markets work, guys. Hedge fund managers, people who have a lot of money, they're able to, we say manipulate the price, but that's just another fancy way to say that they're either pulling out of investments or putting more in investments. And because they have so much money, that makes the market move. So I thought that was very interesting. I kind of like this thought right here that we are kind of on a push down before we have some of these investment tools coming to us, such as BACT and ETF. But it's just really hard to tell. I don't know if the price is going to come back tomorrow. I think by the end of the year, hopefully we will have hit some stabilization and be on the way back up. But we may not have it until, who knows, next year. I've said before, it could be the end of the year next year. But in my opinion, I still think, and I've been saying all along, sometime between November and December, we would hit some kind of bottom and start going up. It may be slow improvement, but I'm still sticking to that. And you know what I said between November and December? It may be December. So we are obviously getting closer to the end of November, but I still believe that, and I'm still going to stick to that. So I've been seeing more of these posts as well on Reddit, these I sold it all posts. And this guy actually says like, oh, I sold everything, but then I was miserable for an hour, so I jumped right back in, which that's something I would do. But just in general, I am seeing more of these posts where people are saying they give up. I talked about a good friend of mine who also gave up on cryptocurrency recently. And, in my mind, that's really what the markets want. That's not what I want for you unless you're planning to pull out because you think the price will drop more and then get in. What concerns me is when people are jumping out totally and saying, I'm done with cryptocurrency. That concerns me for them, but that's what the market requires. It requires the loss of the people that have strong hands. People on Twitter have been talking about how even some of the people that have been in cryptocurrency for a long time, the OGs as they refer to them as, even they are getting out of crypto. To me, that's a sign that we're at least making progress. If you've seen the great meme sheet, which is the chart of where, a psychological market cycle, a lot of people are saying we're in capitulation. A lot of people are saying no. Basically people say wherever they want to say. in my opinion, where we're at on that cycle based on the last couple of weeks movement would be we're probably somewhere between denial and panic. Like, I think I think we're in panic right now because that's the sentiment I'm seeing from people. They are panicking. And like, I've even found myself saying over the last week, you know, like, oh my gosh, what if Bitcoin does go to zero? No, not zero, but what if Bitcoin goes to $800, you know? And the fact that even me, as strong as I am in this game, that I'm thinking about that, like, even it's crossing my mind as, just crossing my mind basically as a possibility, even though I don't believe it will happen. I think that means that we've got to be getting close, guys. We have to be. I mean, we've been in this thing for a year now, and I think at some point we're going to have to hit a level where the bears tire out and the bulls can take back over. I'm not even going to really get into this story. We talked about this at the beginning a little bit. Bitcoin battered below 5,000 as cash fork fight grows. Are we dropping still because of the fork? I don't know. That definitely was a catalyst to start us in the downward movement. But honestly, I think this has been probably a long time coming. I didn't know if we'd ever be able to pierce the $6,000 level because there was such strong support there and it kept pushing us back up. But now that we have gone under it, I think it's healthy that we drop. I think the 48 number, which we've already hit, is probably what I thought we would go to. I think once we start dropping below 4.5, or especially if we were to touch the threes, I mean, I don't know how much retail investors can really move the market, but I literally know people that I know are willing to take out second mortgages on their house to buy in at those levels. So I don't think we'll get down that low. And somebody made a very interesting point, which is, okay, and like I was really like struggling, like, do I get in at 5 or do I wait for it to get down to 4.8? Now, I did get in at 4.8, but that was really just luck because I was busy and I couldn't buy in. I probably would have bought in at 5. And the thing is someone made a great point, and I think it was Crypto Boots, who has a YouTube channel. He was in my live stream earlier with Laura Taylor, from DigiByte, and he said, yeah, in 5 years, do you really think that $200 difference is gonna matter? And no, it's probably not. Would you be willing to miss out on a dip over waiting for $200 extra more dollars? It's not that important, guys, in my opinion, over the long term. Now, if you're a swing trader or a day trader, then yeah, that makes a big difference. But I came across this. I thought this was very interesting. Look at Grandma there. This was very interesting, guys. And this really reminds me of where we are now. And we have people like Nouriel Roubini saying, you know, crypto is going to go to zero and all this. So this was an article in Newsweek from 1995 about why the internet will fail. And it was written by a guy who was actually in Silicon Valley at the time, computer techie guy. And basically, there's a list of highlights. He says now, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe how stupid I look. And that's a picture of the guy, Clifford Stoll. He says anytime that he thinks he knows something, he says, oh God, but there was that one time I was so wrong. I think that's pretty funny. But here is a list of lines from this article that are some of the most memorable. On e-commerce, and you have to remember, all of this is pretty much written with sarcasm. Like, he's writing it like, oh yeah, I bet all this is going to happen. We'll order airline tickets over the network, make restaurant reservations, and negotiate sales contracts. Stores will become obsolete. So how come my local mall does more business in an afternoon than the entire internet handles in a month? Sounds just like what we hear about Bitcoin right now. That one didn't age well. None of these aged well. On ebooks, how about electronic publishing? Try reading a book on disc. At best, it's an unpleasant chore. One of the most popular devices out there is a Kindle, of course. We know that. We can read books on our iPhones, yada, yada, yada. On digital news, the truth is no online database will replace your newspaper. Scratch that. The truth is all online databases will replace your newspaper. As we know, the daily newspaper is a dinosaur, and it is dying all across the country. They've all switched to digital formats. I think probably the safest daily newspaper are your local ones that cost almost nothing to print, and people are interested in their local news. It's hard to get local news online compared to getting national news online. That's my personal experience with it. So if you want to read about the grandma down the road who won a blue ribbon at the pumpkin growing contest, you got to check out your local newspaper for that. On crowdsourcing information, and this one's pretty interesting. Lacking editors, reviewers, or critics, the internet has become a wasteland of unfiltered data. You don't know what to ignore. Well, that's actually true. As we know, the famous line, I read it on the internet, so it must be true. But we've kind of lowered our expectations of what truth we expect the internet to have. So we do tend to read things with a grain of salt, which I think is good, or at least you should, in my opinion. On the internet's portability, this one's really funny. And you can't tote that laptop to the beach. Yet Nicholas Negroponte, director of the MIT Media Lab, predicts that we'll soon buy books and newspapers straight over the internet. Sure. So I thought this was really putting in perspective what people were thinking about the internet. And we're facing a lot of these same challenges with cryptocurrency right now. And there are naysayers. They're naysayers. There were during the bull market, not just because we're in a bear market. But I thought this was funny. Wanted to read this to you guys. Let me know what you guys think about this. What are some things you hear people saying about cryptocurrency that you think will be dated in about 10 years? So, all right, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Until next time, BitBoy out.